Would someone mind telling the Eagles that this is a tank game, Ray? As we welcome you to Nissan in-game live. You know what I mean, wink, wink, wink. But the fact of the matter is, with the Eagles being out of the playoffs, we all know that. The Giants' fate is hanging on the hopes of a Washington loss to the Birds. Washington leading 17-14 at half. What do you make of all this, Raymond?
Well, it seems to me that Washington got off to that nice little 10-0 lead.
Yes, they did.
And I think that they kind of thought, okay, we got this. You know, the Eagles don't have any players. They're sitting everybody out. They didn't really come to play tonight. We're in good shape. And they just kind of went to sleep. And that next possession, they just got real sloppy. I mean, they committed 3 defensive penalties on that. Once they got the 10-0 lead, the Eagles get the ball back, and Washington commits 3 defensive penalties that allow the Eagles to take the ball 75 yards and get a touchdown, and now they make it a game. Now the Eagles are in the game. Washington kind of invited them back in the game by giving them those 3 first downs, and now all of a sudden they give them a little life, and next thing you know, the Eagles are ahead, and then Washington has to come back and take the lead. But I really think they kind of felt like, okay, at 10-0, these guys, look at all the guys they got in civvies. They didn't really come to play tonight. Ho-hum. We're division champs. Break out the caps. And they got a little sloppy that next possession, and really kind of through their own misplays, they let the Eagles back in the game. And now, halftime, you got a 3-point game.
Yeah. The Eagles have said there will be no cap distribution with the championship, the NFC East championship logos on their field. That remains to be seen, of course. But when you look at a typical tank game, if you will, I think people need to understand, which you probably can in your head, but it's different in your heart, that the players and the coaches want to win games.
Sure.
The general manager, operations guys might not, because they're angling for a draft pick, a 6th pick if the Eagles lose, a 9th pick if the Eagles win, and that is crucial in the draft. Of course, you got to be able to pick right. But anyway, but you cannot expect the players to let up.
No. And no one's suggesting they should, and no one's suggesting they will. But, I mean, the players, and look, you got a lot of guys who are playing tonight because the starters aren't playing, and guys are getting an opportunity to show a little something, put a little something on tape right now. So they're not going to lay down. They're going to come out and they're going to play hard, and they are. And I think you have to give these Eagles a lot of credit for fighting. I mean, they really could have come out and rolled over. I mean, they could have. Nobody would have blamed them if they had. But the guys that dressed tonight, they dressed to play. I mean, they're battling. No question Washington is the better team, but, I mean, the Eagles are giving them a battle. But I kind of laugh when Jim Schwartz said this week the idea of the championship hats. You know, we don't want anybody worried. Is anybody in this division supposed to get a championship hat? I mean, as lousy as this division is, I mean, they're really going to. I think more appropriately, they should have a championship. Give them a beanie with a little propeller on the top of it. I think that's what the NFC East winners should get this year. That's probably about all you deserve, because this division has been so bad. In the league, and Mike, you and I talked about this a little bit last week. We've spent so much time wallowing in the NFC East and how bad it's been for 16 weeks. I think sometimes we kind of lost sight of the bigger picture of how good the football's been around the rest of the league.
Excellent.
And how many teams have really, and players have really played well in spite of this crazy year with the schedule and the rescheduling and all of the stuff all the hardships that they've had to go through here with no meetings and haphazard practices. I mean, some of these teams and some of these coaches they've played right through it and have played really well. No evidence of that in the NFC East, but really when you look around the league, I mean, my hat's off to them. The fact that they actually got 17 weeks in and it got every game played, and you're ready to start the playoffs next week. I never thought at the start of the year they'd be able to pull it off, but they did.
If the Washington football team loses, they would be 6-10, and the Giants would be 6-10. And by virtue of the tie breaks, the Giants would win the division with 6 wins. The Cowboys also with 6 wins, losing it by the tie break. The Eagles 4-10-1 out of it since last week, and their loss to the Cowboys. When you look at 6 wins, Ray, to be able to win a division in the National Football League with just 6 wins. Perhaps it's been done before. I know 8 wins is
Not
one.
with 6.
I know 7 wins is one.
Not with 6.
6 wins.
Yeah.
Any chance that whether it's Washington or the Giants, that they could make any headway in the Super Bowl tournament?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, that was one of the reasons why it was important that Tampa Bay, for Tampa Bay's purposes, that they win today. I mean, they were already in, but by winning today, that assured them they were going to play whoever came out of the NFC East. And the Tampa Bay guys, without kind of saying it in so many words, had said, well, we want the higher seed. Well, what they're talking about is we want the seed where we get to play the NFC East. So whoever wins the NFC East, be it Washington if they win tonight, or the Giants, they're going to have to go to Tampa and play Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. That's what they have lying ahead for them. But, it's been a lot of people have asked me, I've gotten so many emails from people asking specifically, is this the worst division in the history of the NFL? Has the division ever been worse? There is one, just for the record, for you folks, for your bookkeeping purposes, there has been one division was worse. I looked it up. The 2008 NFC West. The 2008 NFC West, their combined record that year was 22-42, winning percentage of .344. That was the worst. Last year's NFC East was close. Last year, the NFC East was 24-40, so they were close. But the worst one still on the books is the 2008 NFC West. So as bad as this division was this year, there was one division worse, but this will be the first time you have ever had a division champion with 6 wins. That we have not seen before.
Lastly, Ray, how about seeing Jalen Hurts in the second half? Are we going to see the Sud, Nate Sudfeld, or will Hurts continue to play?
I don't know, Mike. I really thought when I saw the actives for this game, and I saw that Wentz was not dressing and Sudfeld was, I took that as a sign that they were going to only play Hurts for a half, and they were going to play the other quarterback for the second half. And they didn't want that to be Carson Wentz. That's the only reason I thought, Wentz isn't hurt, obviously. So there was no other reason to deactivate him and activate Sudfeld unless the plan was you wanted that guy to play. And so I thought the original plan was for Hurts to play a half and then to change. Now, I don't know. I mean, now you've got, you've scored on your last 2 possessions before halftime, before the last one, and you're 3 points down. At this point, Doug Peterson may be saying, hey, let's go for it. We played it hard. We've played it all out this far. Let's go for another 30 minutes. I don't know. I think the original plan was to make a change, but now with the way the first half is played out and the fact that the game is there to be won, Doug might be thinking about winning it.
Seth Joyner was saying in the pregame program on NBC Sports Philadelphia that just because a player may ask for a trade, just because a player is grumbling about it, doesn't mean he just gets a trade. So if you're not concerned about the feelings of said player, that being Carson Wentz, why wouldn't you put him out there tonight? Just let it rip. There's nothing on the line this evening. He in all the games prior, 4 games prior, he has been dressed, shoulder pads, ready to go. He's been the backup. Mm-hmm. Why not do that tonight and let him play?
I think maybe it was a tacit expression of it, or maybe they put it in so many words. But when they made the change to Jalen Hurts, it was take a seat. You're done for the year. We're gonna play Hurts the rest of the way.
Well, that was not expressly stated, though. Maybe they said it to Wentz, but they didn't.
No, they certainly didn't say it to us,
yeah.
And they didn't say it for public consumption. But it may have been. I don't know if it was just sort of implicit, or it could possibly be that the head coach said to Carson Wentz, "Listen, you're sitting out the rest of the year. We're going to go with Hurts the rest of the way." And after that, maybe they would have felt like that it wouldn't be fair to him to all of a sudden the last week say, you know what, put the gear on, let's go in and play in the second half. And especially with all the talk that's been swirling around Wentz now in the last week or so, that the fact that there's this controversy now about whether indeed he wants to even play in Philadelphia, to run him out on the field tonight probably wouldn't have been the best scenario. I don't think it would have been good for him or would have been good for anybody else.
All those empty seats booing him.
Well,
I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing.
just because there aren't folks in the stands doesn't mean there's no scrutiny. And
That's true.
there would have been plenty of that. So, I don't know. I'm sort of reading into their minds about maybe the plan was to change quarterbacks at halftime. That was kind of how I took the dressing of Sudfeld. Maybe that was never in the plans, but I thought that.
All right, reminder. Barrett's going to be back with you after the third quarter. Ray and I will be back with Barrett Brooks and Seth Joyner on NBC Sports Philadelphia. We thank you for watching our season-long presentation of Nissan In-Game Live. And we remind you that we have enjoyed this so much that we will be back next Sunday without a game. I think we have a cooking program prepared. You're going to do something.
Well, you may be here, Mike. I don't think that I will.
I'll be not. Ray, come out. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you on the post-game show talking about what's bigger, an Eagles win or an Eagles loss? An Eagles loss.
An Eagles loss.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants sent out a tweet saying, "Fly, Eagles, fly." They want the Eagles to win, so no, not going to happen. All right, enjoy the rest of the game.